All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. People have been asking me what I think of the Fallout trailer, and I know that's been out for a couple days. I will preface this with some background. I am not a huge Fallout guy. I like the Fallout games okay, but I'm not one of those, there's just Bethesda games are not really that gripping to me. Like I played Oblivion and Skyrim, I played some Morrowind, but the Elder Scrolls has always just sort of left me a little cold. Like, it's fun to explore, but I don't like the combat. I feel the same way about Fallout. Like, there's some cool story stuff, there's some cool exploration. I've never really gotten down with the combat. And I guess I am very much the kind of gamer who is real. I guess I'm picky. Like, I need to enjoy the fundamental mechanics of a game in order to get into it, or I just get bored or frustrated. So, while I enjoy the Fallout series, I am not an expert at it. I am not an aficionado. And so I am also probably not as picky when it comes to the series. Like, I'm a big Halo fan, and I couldn't make it past, like, episode 3 of that show because it was so dreadful. And I don't know if that might be partly because I really like Halo. And so when the show is so not Halo, it really bugged me. Something like The Last of Us on HBO. I'm a big fan of The Last of Us, the first game. And I have mixed feelings about the second game. But as a big fan of the first game, which the first season of that show is based on, that informed my take on that show, for better or worse. It was a pretty good adaptation, but there were some things that bothered me about it. But not being a huge Fallout guy, other than I've played the games, but I have not. It's sort of like I played Starfield, but I didn't play it for very long because I didn't think it was that good. But I like the aesthetic of Fallout. I like that sort of retrofuturism, the sort of like 1950s aesthetic, the sort of ideal Americana, mid-century retro modern Jetsons, blah blah blah. I like that. I like that juxtaposed with the nuclear apocalypse. I like the sense of humor in the games, and I feel like a lot of that translates into this trailer. I've heard people complaining that about certain things that I think are weird. I don't know. I think that the mech suits, the power armor suits look great. I think it looks fine. Like, it's only a little glimpse of it in the trailer, but I've heard people complain that it's going to be woke because there's a female protagonist and a black protagonist. That seems like a stretch to make that assumption. Shows are allowed to have female protagonists and black people in them without being like immediately woke. I think that's an odd assumption to make. Ella Purnell plays apparently the main character, and I haven't seen her in a lot of stuff, but I guess I think the most recent thing, or the main thing I associate her with, is Yellow Jackets on Showtime, which had a phenomenal first season. She was really good in the first season. The second season was a huge letdown, but the first season, it remains one of my favorite TV shows. It was just absolutely extraordinary. And she was really good in that. I think she's a good choice. She's a strong actress, and I think she'll be good in this. Aaron Clifton Moten plays Maximus, and he's part of the Brotherhood of Steel. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything that I remember anyways. There are some other actors that you'll recognize. Kyle MacLachlan from Twin Peaks. Zach Cherry from Severance. Michael Emerson from Lost. And more. So, Walton Goggins, I almost forgot, is the Ghoul. And of course, he's been, Justified and Vice Principals and all sorts of things. He's great. So good cast, a strong cast. I think the aesthetic looks pretty strong. I've heard people say that, they look like too clean for being in the apocalypse. I think that applies maybe to the main character who just left a fallout shelter and maybe hasn't gotten particularly, worn down yet by the outside world. I don't know. This is from Jonathan Nolan also, who did Westworld, with his wife Lisa Joy, and I think she's part of this as well. But he's sort of the leader on this show, the showrunner. Westworld's first season I still rank as one of the best seasons of TV I've ever seen. It's just phenomenal. But the next 3 seasons were increasingly just not my cup of tea. It felt like a really, really strong idea for one season, for a limited series, and then then the rest of the seasons were just fine, but they were kind of riding the coattails of that first season and suffering by comparison. I'm not sure that there was a way to satisfyingly continue that show, because the first season had such a strong arc. That mystery that you uncover with the shifting time, with the different timelines and all that. That was really exciting and cool and fun. And there's so many big revelations in that season. It's like, how do you follow that with more? So I'm not sure that that's really a knock against Nolan. I don't know that they should have I think they probably should have just I thought maybe an anthological approach would be good. Like season 1 is one batch of characters, and maybe season 2 they could have focused on like Shogun World or War World, or the World War II world, with different characters and not returning characters and cast from the first season. But I'm not sure that would have worked either, because again, like so much of like the revelation in the first season, there are so many reveals, there are so many answers to all the questions, that it's kind of like you've gotten to where you need to get, and then it's over, and then everything else is just like. Anyways, I'm talking a lot about Westworld, and I guess because Nolan, it's kind of like with the 3-Body Problem coming out on Netflix, which is from the Game of Thrones showrunners. It's like, okay, they did a really good job for most of that show, and then they did a really bad job, like a really bad job for the ending of it. And honestly, like, you can say, oh, well, Martin's material ran out, and so they were kind of left holding the bag. And that's true. They were. It's not an enviable position to be in. But still, I'm pretty sure 3 chimps with typewriters could have written a better season 8. I'm pretty sure that they could have extended that show to 10 seasons easily, and not rushed it so horrifically in the end. It just felt so rushed. But that's how, like, I guess, like, at least Westworld, it didn't totally bomb out like Game of Thrones. But still, you wonder, you see these, like, are these showrunners, are these producers, these writers, do they have this, like, moment where they really shine, and then nothing else they do really lives up to that? So, that is a concern for Fallout. But beyond that, I think the Fallout trailer looks pretty good. I think it looks like maybe a pretty good adaptation of the Fallout games, where, it maintains the aesthetic and the sense of humor, and the action looks fun. We see some shots of, some gunfights going on. You don't get a lot of, like, the story other than this girl is leaving her vault like you do in the games, and is going out to explore like you do in the games. And we see there's some bad guys and there's some good guys, and there's a dog, and we all love dogs, and we hope dogs are like, the characters you can always root for, and that everyone says, if they kill the dog, I'm out. And that, yeah, that creates some stakes. So I am looking forward to this. It comes out next year. It might be terrible. It can't be as bad as Halo. Nothing is anything as bad as that horrible show. Again, I never finished it. There's a trailer for that too, which I haven't watched yet, because I just don't care. I really don't care. I don't think I will watch any more of the Halo show. I mean, maybe I should, just so I can make videos about it, but life is short. So we'll see. And I'd have to catch up on season 1. And that just, I don't know. Just everything I read about it just sounds so bad. So this one, there's some other shows coming up. I need to just make a video about the shows I'm looking forward to, because like the Shogun show on FX looks really good. I'm currently watching Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix, which is really good. Very violent, very graphic, very not safe for work, not family friendly, but pretty badass fighting and a cool story. Cool characters. Revenge story. That's for another time. So what did you think? What do you think of the Fallout trailer? What am I missing? What is so bad about it? What is so good about it? Are you looking forward to the show? Shout out in the comments, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Peace.